Hey folks, welcome to the DoItYourselfDad channel. Today we are in one of our favorite vacation spots. This is Mission Bay in San Diego, California, and we're going to be putting this thing in the water. This is the Dory by Chasing. It is an underwater drone with a camera on front. If you've ever seen things like the DJI Mavics and drones that fly in the air, this thing flies almost the same way, except underwater. So we're going to get it in the water, put it through its paces, and see what it can do. Now I've had it in the pool and I've been impressed, but that's just in a pool. We're putting this in salt water and in the ocean. We're going to be going out a little bit further. So let's get it set up. Now there's basically three parts of this setup. There's the drone itself, the buoy, and the tether. Now, radio frequencies don't really transmit well through water, so that's why you have a buoy. This thing sits on the surface of the water or on the shore, and it picks up the signal from your phone, transmits it down the cable, and to this. So setting this thing up is super simple. It's already charged. We'll plug this guy in the back here. We'll hear a series of beeps. And we just want to make sure that that is tight right there because that needs to be a watertight fitting, and so does up here. Now we're going to connect it to our phone. And the way it connects is through Wi-Fi. So I already have this connected through Wi-Fi. We're going to hit the start button right there, and now we should get on our phone here an image. You'll be able to see right there. There's my tripod. There's my phone. So this is our image to the front of it. So now let's get this thing in the water. And if you notice me holding it there, it is pretty small, and that's what's really neat about this thing is it fits inside my backpack with a lot of room down here to spare. So I've got the drone, the cable, and the buoy. Now let me explain what all this does together. So now with it all synced up, let's throw it in the water and get it submerged. Now you will notice little dots moving around on the screen. Those little dots are where my fingers are. This thing flies as if you have control sticks, just like one of those DJI drones. Flies, submerges, sails. I don't know what you'd call it with one of these, but it's really simple. I've actually put this in the hands of my daughter, my dad, my wife, a bunch of people, and everybody picked up on how to control this thing really quickly. So now let's see what it's seeing through its camera. Now the Dory is made by Chasing, and Chasing actually started by making professional level underwater drones, and this is in their consumer line and really their entry level in their consumer line. So this is a 1080p camera. You'll notice here all the seagrass and kelp and whatnot is moving around a lot in the current, and the Dory isn't really being pushed around much by it, which I was surprised by given the size of this thing. It also does a really good job of depth hold, which means when you set it to a depth, it'll stay there. Now speaking of depth, the maximum depth on this Dory is 50 feet, which is about the max for a recreational diver with like a regular dive cert, but their professional level drones can actually go down to around 600 feet. Now for reference, the Titanic is sitting in 12,500 feet of water, which means that little incident that just happened off the bow of it happened in 12,500 feet of water. But still, 50 to 60 feet is the max that a recreational open water diver can go. So this thing can go scuba diving depths, and really the max a diver can go with nitrox mixing is about 120 feet. So their professional level drones can go double what a scuba diver can, which is pretty impressive. Now Chasing claims about an hour battery life, and I've found that actually to be pretty truthful. I've been out here and there is a lot of current here that I'm battling back and forth, and so it's been running the motors the entire time. I've been in the water for about 30 minutes and it's reading about 50% on my battery. So I've got about 50%. Now if you look down here, I've got the buoy sitting in my lap, and that's because we do have a lot of current here, and because this thing connects to your phone for a controller via Wi-Fi, if this thing drifts off, I have no way of getting it back except for getting in the water. So I think what I'm going to do is put a tether around this thing the next time I take it out so I can let the buoy go out in the water, and if I really need to pull everything back in, I can just rope it back in. Another thing is, you'll notice here, I have my line and it's running right past a bunch of kelp. You do have to be careful with the kelp, otherwise it will get caught up and then you got to pull the whole thing back in. It gets kind of messy. I had a blast in the ocean. This is the first time I've had it in here, and I'm really impressed with how well it actually handles the swell, considering how small this thing is. It actually, once you get underneath the surface, it tends to hold pretty well, but we didn't see too many fish. But I know a place where we will see a lot of fish. And that would be the koi pond in my backyard. Now, I threw the thing in here and I wasn't sure how the fish were going to react, so I let it float for a second before I submerged it. But when I submerged it, they really didn't seem to be fazed by it at all. I didn't really chase them around. I didn't want to spook them, but I did drive the thing a little bit around the pond, and I did get some great video of the fish in my pond.
I'm swimming with my fish. I finally got to swim with my fish. I mean, not really swimming with my fish, but it's close enough, right? It counts.
And I had mentioned that I'd played with it in my pool, and I have. Really the reason I got this thing was, one, our family, we're all scuba divers and free divers, but I also do a lot of pool and pool maintenance videos on this channel, and this is going to make shooting those videos, especially in the wintertime when I don't want to get in that cold water, a whole lot easier.
Now we've been having a lot of fun with this little drone. You can pick one of these things up for about 500 bucks, and I will have a link down in the description below if you want to check one out for yourself. Now I can't wait to get this thing into some clearer ocean water, maybe get it out on some of our dives, and also look out for it in some of our upcoming pool maintenance videos because it's going to be used a lot in those. Now if you had a good time watching this video, please give it a great big thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think, and if you have any other ideas for the channel, things you'd like to see on here, please let me know down in the comments below. And of course, thanks for watching.